I'm in a hotel room in Rome, and I wasn't going to make any videos. Actually, it's sort of not true. I've been making a ton of 30-second videos and putting them on the Instagram. The Instagram, because I'm so lame to say it like that. That's a tram, if you aren't listening. I'm right next to a tram station. So, I just thought I'd do a quick update. First of all, I'm getting by just fine in Rome. Very, very, very busy schedule. Work, walk. Tired. I'm walking at least 7 miles every day, and going to multiple different, mostly museums and archaeological areas, but other things too. Going. Not interacting with people, obviously, because I don't speak the language. I haven't even really tried. I think I've said 2 words in Italian. I've said inglese, which means English, and grazie, which is thank you. That's it. That's all I've said. But mostly I just don't interact with people. It's not hard going into the sites that I'm going to see, the museums and places like that. It's really difficult to get up the gumption to go into restaurants. I mean, it's hard. And I don't know why. I mean, the people here, they stay on the side of the sidewalk, and basically call out to people, please come into my restaurant. And still, it's difficult because I don't want to go into one that's busy. But busy is probably the one I should go into. That means there's something good about it, right? So I'm second guessing myself all the time. That's weird. And because you have to interact with the waiter or whatever. You have to. I don't know. That's harder than dealing with going to all these things, and I am tired and usually dehydrated, and I've got lots of things to concentrate on besides interacting with people. And again, there's basically 2 different kinds of avoidant people, opposite end. I mean, there's a lot of different categories, but definite opposite ends. One is the type of person that has to be home in their house with their family, and extremely limited number of people that they interact with. They do not interact with strangers. They only interact with the people they've known forever, even if they're abusive. The other can't even stand interacting with people that they have like family relationships with, because they know the history. And it's much easier to be around strangers, especially if they're never going to see them again. Yeah, definitely number 2. And that's why I sort of get life out of being in cities. Now, as far as Rome goes, I mean, it's amazing. They've got random stuff. They've got, they've got all this famous stuff, the Colosseum and all this. But I mean, it's everywhere. You're just walking down the street and it's like, I don't think you can walk 3 blocks anywhere in this entire city without seeing some sort of ancient architecture. It's amazing. However, it's chaotic. I don't know. I mean, I really like Montreal. I could handle Montreal. Rome, and it's not just the language. Because, I mean, Montreal is still a different language. I supposedly know French. I don't know well enough to, get by. I can read it. I can't speak it. But here, there's just something about the hustle and bustle, and everything is so tiny, and I don't know. It doesn't seem organized at all to me. As you know, it probably is to them that live here. They know what's going on. I mean, I know there's definitely a district where, say, all the consulates are. I was hanging out next to the Greek one today. Again, bizarre to just find this stuff. Montreal was definitely more organized. There were definite areas where this is the sort of thing that's going on, and this is. I said it was like being in like 8 different cities all at once because it was so radically different, and everything was organized. Here, it's not. It's all mishmash. I would never be able to find my way around. And people complain about the public transport system. I think it's great. I haven't had a problem with it at all. No, it's not on a timetable, but there's constantly buses, trams, and subways coming. I've never had to sit around and wait. Other cities I've been in where you miss the train or whatever and you've got to wait an hour. Nah, here I think the most you'd ever have to wait is like maybe 15 minutes, but probably less. It's not a big deal. That part, not a big deal at all. Big deal when I lose internet service, which is happening a lot, and then I can't get Google Maps, and then I don't know where I'm going. Then it's a problem. I actually had to haul out a map today and try to figure out where I was going, and basically I actually went into a store and said, could you show me on the map where I am? And they pointed right out. I was like, thank you, and I'm out of there. And then knowing the starting place and where I was hoping to go, I went in that direction and just kept staring at the phone waiting for the internet to come back on. And it did, and I got where I needed to go. Anyway, all that is not the point of this. The point of this is a fabulous life update. And no, I'm not staying in Italy. My therapist actually was like, I'm really hoping you go there and you love it and you stay forever. I was like, are you crazy? I don't know. He's under the delusion that just moving to a new place, all your problems go away, I guess. Or maybe he thought I would find people I interact with and really liked being around the people. I don't know. No, that's not the update. Here's the update. So I got a call from my son. Now, again, with my son's phone service and internet, I can't pick up telephone calls. So I sent him a text saying, hey, I can't pick up the phone. What's going on? Oh, and a little bit of weird backstory. All of a sudden, I started getting messages from my cousin on Facebook, which I don't interact with. I'm like, okay, yeah, ignore. I'm not dealing with it. Things like, oh, I'm having the Christmas party at my house this year and all this. I'm like, why the hell are you talking to me all of a sudden? How are you doing? I'm just thinking of you. I'm like going, somebody's got a clue that I've left the country somehow. Well, I found out how my cousin got the clue. Because as soon as I left, my son started scheming. Now, I mean, on the one hand, this is great. He needs to get a life, right? On the other hand, Jesus Christ, why did he do it when I was there and I could have helped him? I have a theory about that. He called my cousin and told her that he's living in a shelter and that's where he's living. Now, I think the reason he waited for me to leave to tell her that is because he didn't explain the reason why. The reason why is, of course, is that he assaulted me and would have gone to jail. And instead they came up with this as an alternative solution. I'm sure he also blamed me somehow for him not being able to continue at college. I don't know, but he must have said something. And clearly she's been trying to dig up and get me talking so that she could ask something about that. She went, oh, you poor thing, you're living in a shelter. Come move in with me. It's like, okay, whatever. And as soon as he was there, she clearly didn't want him to stay and got in his case to find a place to be. So what he did, and he was telling me even before he left, you know, I really need to call my father. I really need to call my father. So he's called his father who does pot all the time and thinks it's the best medicine that's ever been created. My son, who is refusing to take any of his meds that were prescribed by his psych. And his father said, why don't you come and live with me? So he's moving to Connecticut to go live with his father. And the reason he called me is because he's decided that tomorrow on Monday, he's going to go to my house and get all his stuff and pack himself up and get out of my house completely forever and leave. So he'll be gone before I get home, and I won't be able to see him before he leaves forever. And I bet there's a lot of people that hearing that would think, that is the greatest idea. That is the best news ever. And I beg to differ, because you know what? I really like my kid. Despite everything he's done, despite being a pain in the ass, despite how much he's hurt me, if I didn't really like him, I would have kicked him to the curb ages ago. So this is hitting me hard. Yes, I don't have to worry about him ever again. I don't have to worry how he's doing. I don't have to worry he's going to suddenly call me and need help. Because that was the other thing he did just before he left. I think it was the day before. No, it wasn't even the day before he left, because I was sitting in the airport and he called me to say, oh, the phone issue. Did I tell you about the phone issue? That first, when he was in the shelter, he got his phone stolen. I know I did, because I made a video. And so I saved his butt by giving him my phone and getting an upgrade, which is the phone I'm using now. Well, apparently, somehow, the phone that I've been using and has been spectacular, and I actually kind of wish I had it now, because it's much better camera than what's in this one, apparently stopped charging, and so he had to get me added, he had to get me to add him to my cell phone account so that he would be able to get and buy a phone, because he didn't have the credit to get a phone on his own. So I did this sitting in the airport waiting to get on a plane to Italy. Yeah. Well, I don't ever have to worry about that again. I don't have to worry about, is he freezing out there? Apparently we're having another ice storm tomorrow. I don't have to worry about any of that. I also don't ever have contact with him again. So this year, I've lost my entire immediate family. My mother died. My father truly has lost his mind and doesn't remember me or anything. And is living in a memory care center and is losing steam and will be dying soon of Alzheimer's. And now my son has completely broken everything contact with me and is moving out of the state to get away from me. I don't know the address where he's going to be living. That's part of the deal. I have no contact with him. I won't be able to get in touch with him ever again. My entire immediate family is gone in 1 year. And then I have my fabulous cousin who loves gossip on my ass because she wants to hear all the gore details, which I'm not interested in having. So now that everybody knows what's happened with him, and of course he's not going to be around to tell the story, they're all going to want me to tell the story, which means that truly I am going to have no contact with the rest of my extended family either, unless I want to go over all this with them, which, you know, it sounds weird that I'm putting this on the internet, but again, it's exactly the same as coming to a city where I've never been before, and can I interact, even though that is, like I said, it's difficult, because going into a restaurant and dealing with a waiter, feeling like I'm being judged because I'm getting the wrong stupid thing. How I get around that is by saying, hey, what's your favorite thing? And basically ordering that. I had roasted chestnut gelato today, which was freaking weird, by the way. Don't really recommend it. But hey, then I didn't have to make a decision. I let somebody else make a decision for me. You know, I mean, it's one of those things you gotta have the ice cream when you're in Italy. It's famous. So I think I've eaten everything you're supposed to eat, which means maybe I'll just not eat again. Anyway, except wine, refuse, absolutely point blank refuse. I did have a limoncello. Disgusting. It was like a shot of vodka infused with dish soap. Ugh. Gross. Anyway, so yeah. But my family, they remember everything and they bring it up for decades. So they will be asking me about this no matter how many years it takes before they actually pin me down and talk to me again. They'll be asking, which means I can't interact with them at all. So my entire family is gone this year. And I know it sounds sad and pathetic, and it's also 100% true. I don't have friends. There's a couple of people I talk to online. But in person, except my therapist, who I pay, and of course, at any point, I mean, if I lose my insurance, forget about it. I don't have a therapist anymore. I don't have friends. I don't have family. I am alone. It's like, kid, why didn't you just wait until I went home? Why did you have to ruin this vacation? Absolutely ruined it. Oh well. So I have one more day tomorrow. I am stomping around all over the place. I am doing walking tours, 2 of them. No more museums. I don't think. I'm museumed out. If you've seen the Instagram, you know what the hell I'm talking about. I put up hundreds of pictures on there in the last 3 days. So that's it. I'd say that's a pretty heavy-duty life change affecting someone who's avoidant, and I don't know how to deal with it. I'm telling you point blank, I don't know how to deal with it. Other than, I have this deadline, and it's coming up in 4 months, and it's not, it's a deadline in 4 months. That was what I said. I was pretty much said probably couldn't live until I turned 48. My birthday's in March. To the point that I knew somebody that a few years ago had a birthday and turned 48, and I had a huge celebration going, yay, I'll never see this age. I don't know. Sometimes basically the fates all come together. Maybe there was a reason why I was kind of fixated on that. Maybe. I'm here doing a bucket list tour, and that's pretty, really a fatalistic thing. If you think about it, the bucket list, things you have to hurry up and do before you die. I was like, I don't really want to think about that this is what this is, but it kind of is. So, anyway. So yeah, my kid has taken a powder, and he is, I suppose at least he warned me that I didn't think that the house was ransacked and I got robbed or something like that, but yeah, he's gone. That's it. No saying goodbye. Oh well. I hope he gets his act together. Who knows? Maybe he will transfer down there. His father, last I heard, was a student at Yale. Maybe they'll take classes together. Maybe he'll be a Yale student. I don't know. I'm probably not going to be involved at all. I probably will not be invited to be involved in anything ever again. I think this is it. Okay, so I did 18 years with my kid. Spent every second for the last, actually 19 years while I was pregnant. I had a very difficult pregnancy. Focused on him. And now, really, truly, he is totally gone for good. And he's slinking away in the dark. Doesn't even have the guts to, say goodbye one last time. Can't even see me. Can't tolerate to see me one more time. He's just bolting. So, yeah, I got absolutely nothing going on in my life. 5 cats. Unless they frozen to death. That's it. That's it. Oh well. But yeah, until that happened, I was having a pretty good, exhausting time in Rome. And I will continue to have another exhausting day tomorrow, and then the next day I travel back. I'm going through Paris. I spend the afternoon in Paris, and then fly back to Boston, and then have to get from Boston up home to a completely empty house. Okay, well, it's not going to be completely empty, but yeah. Anyway, so that's the update from Rome. We can't even go, whatever it is, a quarter away around. I don't think it's that far around the world. Is it? I don't know. A good chunk, like 3,000, 4,000 miles away, without that following me. Although I think that is, it's what it appears is the very last bit of that drama ever. No more immediate family, so I don't have immediate family problems anymore. Now I just have the intense loneliness of avoidance until I can't tolerate it anymore. Oh well. But again, if you want to see what I'm up to, I said it 900 times, I'm sure. At least 3. There is a video that has a link that I am on Instagram, and I am putting up tons of stuff. Anyway, goodbye.